Hello my friends and welcome back. It's Monday, so happy Monday to you and your family. Not such a happy Monday for 3 Russian helicopters and 1 brigades air defense system in Crimea. These systems were burned and I'm very glad to report on that. It actually happened 2 days ago. Ukrainian SBU sent long-range fixed-wing drone attack into Crimea, Kirovske air base, and you can see on the screen where it is exactly. This airbase, a lot of flames happened in it. I mean, they use this NASA firm's map usually, which locates any kind of fire happening anywhere in the world. And it located this fire right here, so the Russians really cannot deny it. Ukrainian SBU conducted another successful operation against the Russian airfield, this time on Ukrainian soil. The Kirovske air base in Russian-occupied Crimea was struck, resulting in 1 Panzer-S air defense system and 3 choppers, Mi-8, Mi-26 and Mi-28 being destroyed. It is strange that this Panzer-S air defense system here is specifically meant to destroy against these low-flying, slow and loud fixed-wing drones, but it cannot do nothing. It's blind to it, so the drones destroy it. It's very nice, or very nice. Now this is quite an expensive hit. These choppers, I want to give you estimated price tag. Of course, it's quite stupid to put a price tag on these choppers and Panzer-S, because in a country like Russia, when they don't count money and they just throw it away in this war, it doesn't matter to them. But Mi-8 is 15 million, Mi-26 26 million, it matches with the name, and Mi-28 is $25 million. That's quite an expensive destruction actually, and it's not the only one. We get to another one, but that's later in the video. Also, I want to just show you a little bit of a fireworks here, guys. I mean, what are you gonna just take my word for it? Let's watch a video. This is the Kirovske airfield in Crimea. You can see the shadow of the chopper here and everything burning in the background. Of course, we have a sad Russian soldier filming it all, saying, oh, it's on fire, a little chopper barbecue right here, let me get my meat, let me grill it up for you. Yeah, this is nice. It's a way to start my week, and I think yours also. This is a burning chopper, I think. And you can see the secondary explosions. I don't think from what? From chopper? From Panzer-S? Maybe they hit an ammunition depot, ammunition dump somewhere, because these are secondary ammunition explosions right here. Yeah, but I wish I could always translate the language they say for you. It's always extremely juicy and nice, but I can't, because you YouTube overlords maybe don't want to hear these words. But this was not the only airfield that was focused on in the last 3 days. We have Marinovka airfield in Russia's Volgograd region. Now, look at the map. This is where it is. This is what the satellite image of the airfield looks like before the attack. And we have the satellite image also after the attack. So everything is recorded, what was destroyed, and how it looks like from space. And what with this specific attack, I mean, it happened 27th of June, so 1 day before the Marinovka airfield. We have also Russian fighter bomber Telegram channel, which is one of the biggest Russian military bloggers, commenting on this. And I want to read it to you because it's again very nice and salty. I enjoy the salt coming out of these Russian military bloggers watching their own hardware burn. Well, in this airfield, Marinovka, they took down 4 Su-34s. Well, specifically 2 of them were destroyed, 2 of them were damaged. But I mean, an airframe, a military airframe, if you damage it, it's pretty much destroyed. It's really dangerous to fix them up, because they're gonna fall out of the sky. That's how it is. With a car you can fix up, with an airframe, very difficult. Why Ukrainian SBU is hunting these Russian aerial assets? Well, choppers are choppers, but Su-34 fighter bombers, like the Russian Telegram channel, fighter bomber, they are the ones that carry glide bombs onto the front lines. And these Russian glide bombs, unfortunately, do a lot of damage because they're very, very difficult to shoot down, if not impossible. They are glide bombs. You don't shoot them down. You gotta hide from them. And they are precise also. quite difficult to jam their GPS guidance systems on them. Also, they do a lot of damage. So you don't take down the Arrow, you take down the Artur. That's why SBU is focusing down the Su-34s. And this is what they did on this specific airfield. See, this is the 25th of June, this satellite image, and this is 29th of June, and the Russians said that there's no evidence of any Su-34s being hit. Well, I don't know if this is evidence enough for you, but this one-third of this entire runway is burned to the brink of ashes. Look at that. I don't need any more evidence, man. This is darker than my soul. And now I bring you with great pride the Fighter Bomber Russian Telegram channel, because he always gives us his honest opinions about destruction of Russian equipment. There is no point in commenting on anything regarding Marinovka, another multi-billion-dollar loss that could and should have been prevented. Now, it's not going to be a multi-billion-dollar loss, even not close to $1 billion, but still hundreds of millions. But again, it's never... There's no point in putting a price tag to it, because Putin doesn't really care about the price tag. What matters is that they cannot produce them fast enough. Ukraine is destroying them faster than they can produce them. And it would be nice if only the crests answered. It's so weird always why the Russians call Ukrainians crests. Otherwise, it will continue like this. On this, I agree with him. I am sure that we will respond to this with a flurry of angry and decisive telegrams. That's how it is, yeah. Fighter Bomber does this post and that's it. Nothing will change. The Russians will keep bringing choppers and planes to the strike distance of Ukrainian long-range drones. Now that's a way to start your Monday, my friends. My friends, a lot of people tend to reach out to me to learn how to express or communicate their ideas into the form of full-length videos like I do. The kind you've always wanted to create in the most seamless, intuitive way possible, irrespective of whatever skill level you are at. In-video AI enables you to do just that. Just type in the idea you want to create a video about. It's pretty game-changing. For example, I use this prompt. Make a 1-minute video about what would happen if the tax system ceased to exist today.
What if you woke up tomorrow and taxes had vanished? Hospitals would shut down, leaving millions without healthcare. Schools would close, halting education for an entire generation. Emergency services, gone.
From there on, you can fine-tune your video and edit it by using simple text-based commands via the edit command box. Like, make the video more intense. Not just that, but you can go one step further and clone your voice so that all videos you create can be narrated in your own voice. Unlike traditional video tools with steep learning curves that only solve parts of your video creation process, InVideo is the creative partner that you have always wanted. It removes all friction and puts you in the director's seat, letting users focus entirely on their vision and their idea, while InVideo AI does all the heavy lifting. You can try InVideo AI for free. This will save you hundreds of dollars that you would otherwise spend on editing, animating, and other production costs. Thank you, InVideo AI, for sponsoring today's video. We are not through with the hits happening this weekend. Now we go to trains. Russians built a brand new railway line between Tokmak and Mariupol in southern occupied Ukraine, and this line is fully on military purposes. The trains go back and forth with ammunition, with troops, with everything, food, water even. I mean, massive amounts of water is needed on the fronts. We're talking tens, if not hundreds of tons of water. They're lacking that, so you need trains to carry those very heavy munitions and water and logistics, all of that. So Ukraine has finally started hunting them, and in the last 2 weeks I think we've gotten like 5-6 different videos of Ukrainian long-range drones, fixed-wing drones and FPVs both hunting these trains. Let's watch the footage, my friends, because I've been waiting for this for 3 years. For 3 years these trains have been going, well, 2+ years, and we haven't seen any videos of Ukrainians hunting them. Well, now here we go. Ukrainian FPV flying near Tokmak, occupied Tokmak, right? Focusing in on the area, seeing the train. You cannot really see it because the trains, they're filled with jammers. and this is not, you cannot fly fiber optics there, it's too far away. But you can see, despite the blurry screen, the drone pilot is really good. Narrowing down on this train, this line here. Cannot blow the music, man, it's copyrighted. See, it's really difficult to hit these trains because they're filled to the brink with jammers and everything. But this pilot manages to do so, and not only the train, but the engine at the front. Look, it seeks it out, the front of the train, goes to the side of it, to the left side of it, and then hugs the engine, gives it a little kiss. Boom. This was an FPV drone we just watched, but they also attacked at the same time. After the engine was taken out, you know, the trains are immobilized, they're stationary. So then the Ukrainians sent fixed-wing kamikaze drones. But in this specific instance, Russians who were supposed to defend the train were actually able to shoot it down, which is very rare. But I mean, these are low and slow, these fixed-wing drones, much like Shaheds. But look at that. They're shooting small arms fire Kalashnikovs. And they managed to explode it. Quite rare of a video and a very cool one to see. Look at that. Right before it was doing the attack, boom, taken out. So in this instance, when the drone is big enough, slow enough, loud enough, you can actually take it down with Kalashnikovs, with your buddies. Echelon уходит means echelon is going forward. But I'm glad Ukrainians are attacking Russian logistics, because this is the fastest way to stop them from moving on the front, because they just don't have water, food, or ammunition. Everything in the Russian army works thanks to the trains. You attack the trains, you stop the frontline movements. Now another interesting case here, what I have not seen but I've been waiting for, like the train attacks, is Ukrainians using Russian prisoners of war to build and damage war damage done by the Russian drones, to build the houses again, to, you know, paint the fence, whatever they're doing to repair the damage Russians are doing to the Ukrainian houses. And this instance, we see it in Izium. Now again, I'm sorry, I'm not connected to if this is, you know, by the Geneva Convention, if this is allowed or not, but for me personally, I would say make all of the Russian prisoners of war work. Not as slavery. I mean, feed them 3 times a day, allow them to call home, make sure they get 8 hours of sleep every night. But during the daytime, when they have the time, I mean, they gotta fix up the mess Putin is making. They are responsible for it. So I'm all for them working, making something good out of them. It's a way for them also to, you know, give something back, honestly, because they ought to. Now, my friends, we'll travel to the south of Ukraine, where majority of the area, any area, is a field, because Ukraine is one of the largest exporters of wheat and other grains in the world. And these farmers, it's their income, their livelihood. They have bought the machinery, the trucks and everything, and they still have to work. It doesn't matter that they're close to the front. And any kind of little bit of fire or drone that falls to the ground starts a massive crops fire. And they want to stop that, right? So what they're doing is, I don't know how you stop a crops fire, but you cut the line into the crops so the fire couldn't spread. That's what they're doing right here, just to illustrate how much they have to work. It's war, it's dangerous, but you still have to make your livelihood. You still have to take care of your crops. And you see, they lost 1 truck to the fire. See, you want to protect the crops because you might sell it. You need to make money for your family. You know, your kids are going to school in the city, you got to pay for that, and you still lost a truck. For this single family, this is a big hit, actually. I want to keep bringing you these smaller stories, these personal stories, because they make the suffering more humane for us to understand. Here in Estonia, we have a lot of Ukrainian wheat products, Ukrainian grain products. So this is where it comes from for us also. I like to see that on the screen. In the recent months, Russian drone attacks to Ukrainian cities have gotten really bad. I mean, they've started using massive numbers of them, 400 plus drones per night. And they're not all kamikaze drones. They look the same, but some of them are empty inside. They're like these decoy drones that you still have to shoot down because you don't know which one is which, and you maybe focus down the wrong one, the other one hits. So Ukrainians have started sleeping with whistles around their necks. In this instance, if they fall under the rubble, they can use the whistle to be rescued as fast as possible. And this is just, again, this small detail to give you more reality of what it looks like to live like that. You gotta sleep every night with the fear, and you gotta go to work the next morning. So you and me, maybe we wake up feeling a little bit bad. Oh, it's not my day. Oh, I'm having a bad hair day. I'm not feeling that well. Well, put massive drone attacks into that equation also. Put the whistle around your neck, or download the Ukrainian Air Alert app. You can download it in the West anywhere. Put the locations Ukraine, and it will wake you up several times a night like you would be in Ukraine, so you would get an idea of what it is to live like that. This is why I'll keep bringing you these stories. Now, my friends, a story that you might not believe, but it's actually true. Russians have revitalized or resurrected armored trains. Yes, you heard correctly. I mean, lastly, when they were used were 1920s, 1930s, maybe a little bit in the Second World War, but mostly they were already obsolete by then, thanks to the Air Force, which bombarded them. Well, now Russians have brought them back, and don't take my word for it. Let's just look at the photos also. This is a generic Russian armored train. Why they're made? They're not made for frontline activity. They are made to protect the logistics trains, military logistics trains. They're driving before them and after them, trying to shoot down drones, trying to jam the drones, trying to take the hits from the drones so the logistics keeps moving. This is what it looks like. And yes, it actually has an armored vehicle. What is it? A BMP? Correct me if I'm wrong here. BMP on the train, and they have the ZIL anti-air dual machine gun here, heavy machine gun on top of it. I mean, this you're not going to take down an FPV with this. You might take down a slow fixed-wing kamikaze drone, but nothing against an FPV. Against an FPV, you can only use a jammer, right? Look at that. It is 100, even 150-year-old idea, and they have resurrected them. And look at that. You're not seeing wrong. This is a Jesus flag. This is a Russian armored train with a Jesus flag. Jesus Christ. Damn. And you can see a video of it also, going very slowly. But this is what they look like, big Z letters all over them. All in all, the main capability inside these trains is the jammers. They are meant to jam against FPV drones. They're not meant to be used on the front lines because they will be destroyed immediately. But it's so strange to see this kind of an idea being used by a nuclear superpower. No other nuclear superpower in the world, I think, has armored trains right now. No other nation at all. Maybe North Korea, maybe. They might be the only one. My friends, I'm sure you heard about the beef in Russia between Chechens, Kadyrovites, Rosgvardia unit Kadyrovites, and Russian units, Russian police, for example, internal police, military police, or the Russian army. They don't like each other because Kadyrovites and Chechens are in a special status in Russia. They are kind of the untouchables because Putin has given them that status by giving Kadyrov that status, and they act like it. This happened 2 days ago. Russian police in Belgorod, just a regular police, policing the streets, policing the highways, measuring the speed of the cars going by, stopped Chechen units. I'm gonna watch a video. There's a whole video from the Russian police officer's front camera, and he dared to stop the Chechens and ask for a driver's license. Give me driver's license and vehicle registration. Does he have driver's license? I don't know. He didn't show me anything. What do you mean he didn't show? And you can see them, they are Kadyrovites, of course, they're Chechens because they're wearing this a specific hat, which Chechens wear. Of course, Dagestanis also wear it and other nations, but Chechens specifically wear it, and they have this kind of beard with a mustache shaven on top of the lip, because in Muslim heritage you don't have a mustache on top of the lips usually. It's a very Chechen look, you understand. And they have a very thick accent also, and they act like laws don't abide to them, which they don't, because police is even afraid of them. Because you know what, this happens exactly, we can see it in this video. A guy stops them, they argue for a little bit, and then suddenly a black SUV pulls up like that. Happens every time. Few military guys come out, and a guy like that, full black, they're all beefed up, usually they do a lot of steroids. And they come and provoke you. And then, I cannot share the rest, I'm gonna speed through it, but they just start attacking him and beating the guy. Beating the police officer, just like that. Just for a whole minute they do that. And you can see he's bleeding in the end, because his hand is bloody. Thing is, he was doing his job in Russia, you know, policing the Belgorod highways, measuring speed, and he just pulled over the wrong crew, he pulled over the Chechens. And this video was publicized. A lot of Russian officers, military personnel, they really blew it up. They were really angry, and they called out Abdi Alaudinov, who is the head of the Kadyrovites in, you know, special military operations zone, as they call it in Russia. He's supposed to be responsible for this. And Alaudinov, of course, said, it's not my problem. He came up with this video. It's not my problem, because it was not my guy. It was from some other unit. But that's not what's important. What's important, what you can see in his explanation video is, wait for it. One moment. Boom. He lifts up his arm, and you can see the watch for a moment. Now this is what you would call in a regular army just a general or a chief of staff, in a way, a leader of a military force, in this case, private military force of Kadyrov. Look at that watch. People immediately found out what kind of a watch that is. It's, forgive me my butchered translation, Badolet Observatore 1872, worth 270,000 euros. So being a commander of Akhmat certainly pays off. This is the kind of watch the guy wears to a war zone. And just to illustrate to you how rich these guys are, I mean, all of that money comes from the Kremlin. The Kremlin pays Kadyrov to keep order in Chechnya, because if there's no Kadyrov, no strong top-down leader there's gonna be ethnic tensions all over Russia, and there's gonna be crazy attacks in Moscow subways, in different cities subways. That was in the 90s. Everybody was afraid of Chechens. Now they're being paid massive amounts of money. They can afford watches like that because Putin wants stability in that area. So to illustrate that point even more, we have Adam Kadyrov, the son of Ramzan Kadyrov, the leader of Chechnya right now. Ramzan's health is really bad. We're talking really, really bad. We're talking 1 to 2 years away from death. He has kidney failure. He's doing really bad. So Adam got married a few days ago, very hastily. What this signals to us is that Adam is going to be the next leader of Chechnya, because in Chechnya you cannot lead this area without being married. He's only 17. The legal age of marriage in Russia is 18. Also the legal age to drive in Russia is 18. But that didn't stop Adam Kadyrov from being married right now, illegally, driving his green G-Wagon and shooting his whatever type of pistol is that up in the sky like they do in the Caucasus, and doing all of that while wearing this watch. Again, going back to the Kadyrovites, Chechens with the watches. This watch is not 270,000. This is $27.7 million, a Shoka watch. And this guy's 17 years old. Now this 27 million in Chechnya is a very poor area, because all of the money is taken by the Kadyrov family. This watch alone could build, 10, 15 schools and kindergartens, only this one watch. And everyone is wearing watches like that on the top of the leadership in Kadyrov's inner circle. So this is why Russians do not like the Chechens, and the ethnic tensions are insanely brewing under the surface, and as soon as Kadyrov dies, something happens to him, there's gonna be a power struggle. There's gonna be, if anything happens in Russia, it usually comes from Chechnya. I feel like you got like a massive backstory of something. Like, yet you don't see this in mainstream news, but Chechnya is a time bomb in Russia. Dagestan also, but a little bit less. Chechens are the ones, they feel they're above the law in Russia. Russians don't like it. Russian army personnel don't like it, and this is just waiting to happen. Alright, my friends, now finally let's take a look onto the military map, because I want to keep you up to date with Russia's summer offensive, 2025 summer offensive, which they gathered 50,000 troops to do so. They started about 1 month ago in Sumy, northern Ukraine, central northern Ukraine, yes. Look at all these units. I want to show you which kind of units Russians are using in this offensive. 56 air assaults. 137th Guard Airborne Regiment, 51st Guards Airborne Regiment, 83rd Separate Guards Air Assault Brigade. This is important. 170th Separate Regiment of Marines against Semi-Special Forces, Naval Infantry Brigade. They're supposed to be special. Nowadays they're just infantry. 104th Airborne Assault Regiment. So all of these regiments, brigades, they are airborne or naval infantry, meaning they are the best Russian infantry that Russia has to offer. They're supposed to be semi-elite forces, but now they're all being used in the same way, as assault forces on the ground. The thing is, air assault forces all over the front have been brought to Sumy Oblast to take part in this Russian 2025 summer offensive, which has been stopped by the Ukrainians, and now very slowly Ukrainians are pushing back. I want to go 21st of June, let's go forward. As you can see, Ukrainians liberated Andrivka. And now we have instances, not on this map yet, that Ukrainians have already taken positions from south of Oleksivka, right here. They're going on to Oleksivka, and after that it's Nova Mikhailivka and Volodymyrivka. These names of these villages, it's a mouthful, but Ukrainians are slowly pushing them out. Now this is the Russian summer offensive. This is the area where they got the best forces, best equipment, best drones, best everything. And what they managed to do is take about 50 square kilometers of Ukrainian land, maybe 100 square kilometers. And now slowly Ukrainians are pushing them back. The initiative is now on the Ukrainians. The Russians are now reacting. This offensive has failed and it's over. It's a matter of time when Ukrainians will push them out now. What is this? Why is this important? If we zoom out the whole area of the war, you cannot even see how small of an area Russians managed to take with this summer offensive, which gives you a perspective of Russians are winning is a completely false statement. They are definitely not winning. The front lines have stalled. They're stagnatic. Very slowly in some areas, Ukrainians advance very slowly. In some areas, Russians advance. But if you look at the percentages, then Russians occupying Ukrainian land, the percentages have not changed at all. Not even 1% in the last year or two almost. 1 to 2% change. It's so minute, they cannot even talk about of any movement on the front line. So this is important to know, to give you perspective of where the war actually is right now. This little small area here is what Russians managed to do with 50,000 troops of their best forces in all of Ukraine. That gives you an idea of the Russian capabilities right now. Right, my friends, this has been my video for the Monday, and as you can see, I already have my book in my hand, because I don't think enough of you have gotten this book. I mean, go to the link in the description, rehistore.com. Links in the description. Go and get that book for you and for your grandmother, as I always say. Get it to anybody who needs to open their eyes about Ukraine, because I can make this video, talk 30 minutes about important stuff about Ukraine, but the details of the context, the history, and what I did there is all in this book. So go and get it for yourself and for your family. Until my next video, my friends, which actually will be tomorrow, yes, on the 1st of July, because this will be my last Ukrainian update for 1 month. I will take rest for 1 month in July to enjoy summer in Estonia. I'll be back for you with the Ukrainian updates on 1st of August. Remember that and put it to your calendar, because this will be my coming back 1st of August. But you will get the video essays if you're a member of the channel anyway in July. But tomorrow I'll also be back, please. Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. Thank you InVideo AI for sponsoring today's video.